8 months into the Israel-Gaza war, there's a fresh proposal to end the conflict. U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday said that Israel has now offered a new ceasefire deal, a new roadmap towards permanent peace in Gaza, further adding that it's time to end the war. The three-part proposal put out by Biden includes plans for a ceasefire, surge in humanitarian aid, exchange of hostages, and also a post-war plan for Gaza. It is a three-part proposal which begins with immediate 6-week ceasefire in which the Israeli Defense Forces would also withdraw from the populated areas of Gaza. The first phase would also include the exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners and supply of 600 aid trucks every day. In the second phase, Israel and Hamas would negotiate terms for a permanent end to hostilities. And the final phase would include a major reconstruction plan for Gaza with international support. Biden called the proposal a decisive moment and an opportunity to prove whether Hamas really wants a ceasefire deal or not, further urging Hamas to take the deal.
This is truly a decisive moment. Israel has made their proposal. Hamas says it wants a ceasefire. This deal is an opportunity to prove whether they really mean it. Hamas needs to take the deal. For months, people all over the world have called for a ceasefire. Now it's time to raise your voices and demand that Hamas come to the table, agrees to this deal, and end this war that they began.
After Biden's remarks, Hamas issued a statement saying that it welcomed Biden's call for a permanent ceasefire and will consider it positively. The militant group had earlier informed mediators that it would agree to a comprehensive truce agreement, including a hostage prisoner swap if Israel halts its aggression. However, Netanyahu further clarified that the transition from phase 1 to phase 2 was conditional and crafted to allow Israel to maintain its war aims, which is to eliminate Hamas and the return of all the hostages. Now, Netanyahu's office in a statement said that, and I'm quoting here, the Prime Minister authorized the negotiating team to present an outline for achieving this goal while insisting that the war will not end until all of its goals are achieved, including the return of hostages and elimination of Hamas. Well, earlier on Friday, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh accused Israel of using negotiations as a cover to continue its aggression. An earlier hostage proposal put forward this year, it was called off because Israel did not agree. And now, to know how different is the latest proposal from the previous ones that have been offered, we were earlier joined by Glenn Carl, who is a former national intelligence officer from the CIA and national security and foreign policy expert from Boston. Listen to what he had to say.
I don't know that it is profoundly different, actually. I think what is different is that President Biden and the United States are, by announcing this and calling for the ceasefire and the peace plan, increasing the pressure on Israel as well as on Hamas. Neither side in the plan would get everything that it is seeking, which is the situation in really any negotiation that is agreed upon. But to me, it addresses or seeks to address, to some extent, President Biden's domestic pressures from the Democrats, really, to bring more pressure to bear on Israel to stop the war. And yet it doesn't go as far as Israel wants, because it will allow, or it's mute on who will rule Gaza after the plan is implemented, if ever were implemented. So I see it as a domestic step, but a step to increase pressure on Israel also. They call it Israel's plan, and parts of the Israeli government support this kind of initiative. But the far right within the cabinet of Netanyahu already has said that they will not stop until Hamas is eliminated, and Netanyahu himself has said that. So it's pressuring, addressing domestic American concerns, pressuring Israel a bit, and offering no one everything, which is probably wise because that's not negotiation otherwise.